Cheers.
So, how are you? All good?
Good, good.
Nice to see you. It's so nice to see you. Thanks a lot for joining us today.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you. So, so let's start our podcast. And usually, I ask to our guests to make a small presentation of themselves. And so, how did you approach to do the music world? And how did you make all
Especially
the
for Rotter
steps,
Records.
especially for us records, and but also yourself, like when you started enjoying the music, and then what did you I don't know if you started playing instrument or something, and then everything to arrive here. So yeah.
I mean, I got into the music. I used to live in England back in the 80s, and I heard some music back then. I didn't really pay too much attention to anything as far as there. I was there for maybe like, I think it was like maybe 2, 3 years, but I learned, I went to school there and learned to speak English and all that there. Then I moved to Nebraska, and a small town. It was like population. It was like maybe like 200, and I went to school there, and I heard metal. I heard like Judas Priest, Sabbath, and then I met some of the kids that were listening to that music, and didn't really get into I would say into like, oh man, I gotta go buy this. But I heard like Van Halen, Priest, and all that. Then I moved to Panama, and then when I was in Panama in high school, that's when I really got into I guess the scene, and as soon as I got there, I guess Metallica, I got into the Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and then back then, back in the day, and lunchtime, we used to hang out in the corner, and everybody used to have their Walkman on, and listen to whatever it is that they had recorded or whatever. So I used to have a Walkman, and my friends used to give me like a blank cassette, and they used to have the names of the bands on it, whatever, Slayer, Venom, or Testament, and I would just play it, and it would be like, it would just be songs from the bands, but no names. And I was like, wow, what is this? This sounds like brutal.
Yeah.
So that's when I got into I guess thrash, I remember listening to Pleasure to Kill on a Walkman. So that was cool. So that was the beginning of me to listening to get into like the thrash, I guess. And then I moved to Jersey when I was 18, and I had just finished high school, and I wanted to form a band, and I formed. I met some local metalheads, and we formed. We went to couple of shows together, and talked about forming a band, and we started a band. One of the first names that we had was Gut Wrench, and we found out there was a band already called Gut Wrench. Then we went with Septicemia. And even at that time, I think I had Bill Venner from Disma draw a logo for us for Septicemia, if I'm not mistaken. And there was another band that was Septicemia. And long story short, there was a band Putrefact, local band Putrefact, that I became friends with, real good friends with, and with the bass player Victor and I, we became roommates. And when they broke up, we always talked about doing something, maybe doing something, and that's how Ceremonium started.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
And then we got a couple of players, local players, started jamming around, and it didn't work out. And at that time, Putrefact had just broken up, and Tom was the guitarist a short time for Putrefact prior to breaking up. So we asked him to join Ceremonium, and I guess that would be the foundation of Ceremonium. But Victor and I, we've had that brainchild in our heads for some time prior to that. So and then Ceremonium started. We played a couple of shows. We lived it like it was a short time that we were in the active scene, but we did play a lot of good shows at that time. As far as like, we played with Unleashed, played a lot with Incantation, Ripping Corpse, Immolation, a lot of good shows, a lot of good memories. Met a lot of good people, good metalheads in the scene that I'm still in contact with. Roy Fox is a really good friend of mine from Necroharmonic, and back to the present now, that's actually how Rada Records started. You know, me and Roy, we've been in contact throughout the years, and he always wanted to collaborate and do something, and he wanted to do something with Ceremonium, and then I said, you know, let me help you out with whatever I can, and he was just, okay, so what are you going to call your label? And I was just like, what are you talking about? And I just went with it, and that's how Rada Records started.
Yeah, yeah,
That's so nice.
that's so cool. And also, I have also
But nothing was planned. Nothing was planned. It was just like, okay.
yeah, yeah, and it's sometimes it's better like this. And I would like to ask, like, looking back, what was the first release that you feel really defined your label identity, if you have
Well,
one?
my first release was Serenitas, which was it's a one man band. It's doom death, and I guess me and him, we had been in contact through. I think he had purchased something from me, and he just said, "Hey, listen, this is my band, you know." And he sent me the audio, and I liked it, and it's something that I went with, and so that was my first release right there. And now, looking today, I just released a Putrid Requiem, which is an old school death metal band from Russia.
Yeah.
And Abysmal Decay, they're from Scotland. They're like old school, like the Swedish sound. Also, Putrid Yell from Chile, which have that similar entombed-ish, maybe Aztec sound as well too. So to answer your question, I can't say like one release defines Rada Records, but I could say as a whole, all those releases kind of define my musical taste, which is kind of, it's old school death metal. So I think all them releases kind of represent a little bit of old school death metal. You know, so obviously doom death, but that's old school doom death. You know, so I can't say like one of them represents. I think all of them as a whole kind of is a direction where I want, and it's where I'm at now. So I have to say probably all of them have to do a little bit of contribution to the label as far as defining it.
Yeah,
you know,
and which was the year that Rada Records were born?
Wow.
Yeah, seems easy, but it's not.
We're in 25, 22, 20. I would have to say what, 22, 23, 23, 24,
Okay.
20. I would say 23.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. 23, I would say.
We trust you. Yeah. And so I think that you really have like a lot of release with your label, but
Yeah.
so basically are mostly death doom or some thrash metal stuff.
Well, I actually, as far as like the releases, I kind of want to be diverse a little bit as far as what I thrash. So I'm always looking to sign or work with or collaborate with you know, brutal old school death metal, obviously. Yeah. But you know, if I hear a band out there like there's a band Ripper from Chile, they're like old school thrash, and I heard the name, and I just recently got into him, and I was like, wow, this is old school, like old school thrash, you know. And I like that, you know. So yeah. If I hear something I like and I can connect with it, I think I'd want to collaborate with them. So as far as Rada Records, it's diverse. I wouldn't mind, you know, reaching out to a band that I like that's non-death metal, you know, in that thrash. You know, I definitely work with that. Yeah, hell yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, running a label like yours, I mean, I think that has, you know, many like challenges, right? Is there anything that is mostly, you know, for sure is very stimulating, but is there any bigger challenge that you have to face today in producing and distributing?
Well, as far as running the label, I mean, as you can see, my background, it's running in my living room right now.
Yeah.
But as far as challenges, I mean, the only challenge that I think I have is that I don't dedicate enough time to it. Because I'm finding it that it's something like, you know, it's something that I want to keep going, and I want to take it to the max. So I think I have to step up to the plate to take it to that level. So I need to dedicate more time to it. So I think next year I'm gonna dedicate more time to it, as far as to take time away from my full-time job. You know, if I can do like 50-50, or if I can do this 100, which that would be the dream come true. You know, that's what I would go with. But right now I'm trying to balance it out where I can dedicate enough time where I can make it work the way I want it to work. Because there's a lot of things that I want to put out. You know, a lot of releases, a lot of bands that I work with, you know. And there's bands that I'm working with now as far as releases and all that. But for me to take it to the next level, that's a challenge that I'm putting on myself for next year.
Sure.
Yeah. All the best wishes for that. Honestly,
Really.
we really understand that.
So the challenge, dedicating more time, and obviously, and you know, financials have to be there. Everything has to be there, you know. So everything balance for it to work. So, but I'm excited. Some things that I'm working with, you know. This band Putrefact. It's an old school band. This will be coming out very soon, actually. It's old school death metal. They came out with a 7-inch that was released on Afterworld Records, and I'm going to be releasing it on a limited edition on a cassette version. So that'll be out soon.
Sure.
Along with another band.
Okay. And you always work for like the aesthetic part for your bands, like, I don't know, covers, about the album covers or merchandise, or for you it's just to be a label?
You mean as far as the bands that I collaborate with or working with?
Yeah.
No, the only thing that I suggest is, like, if they don't have an artist, I can suggest an artist for them, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of times that's actually worked out. You know, it's cool because I do have a relationship with a couple of artists. You know, so I reach out to them, and it's easy. You know, if they hired an artist or they have something already drawn up, I can work with it too. You know, but I always give them that option. If they want to do some art, you know, I work with this artist. I can send you his portfolio. You take a look at it. You can choose. Yeah. But for the most part, you know, that's really about it. They work on. They send me everything. I do the layout. I send everything to them, and we agree on.
Yeah.
And when you, when you select a band for a release, and you say, okay, I want to have these guys. Like, what is the first thing that you look at? Like, what is the first thing that catches your eyes or ear? Like the music itself, the attitude, the concept. What is?
It's I guess how they sound. Yeah. To me, it's how they sound. Sometimes it could be a cover. A cover might catch my eye. You know, I'll look at it. And I'd be like, oh, this is going to be brutal. You know. But for the most part, it's the sound. You know, it happens to me all the time. Like, even like with Putrid Requiem, I don't even know how I even like got onto their website. I don't even know what I was doing, and I played it, and I was like, whoa, this sounds brutal, you know. And I was like, let me reach out to them. You know, same thing with Abysmal. You know, I heard one of their songs, I was like, I like it. Let me reach out to them. You know, so to me, 100% is the sound.
And how is the hunting process? Like, you go to a lot of concerts, or is mostly online, or you see?
Nowadays, everything's online. I mean, I do a lot of probably online surfing, I guess. You know, and I run a couple of bands that way. Otherwise, somebody will tell me something about a band, you know, and then, you know, I'll go listen to it. You know, that happens sometimes, and other times the cover gets me. You know, I'll see a cover, check this out, and you know, and I'll listen to it. Works out. Some covers more brutal than the music.
Sure. And also, so you're now in US, so you also have a lot of really huge death metal scene. But like we have one a huge one in Europe. do you feel more aligned with one from the US or from the European scene? If you have something in your mind about this.
I mean, I think both scenes are brutal. I mean, there was a time in the scene where it was dead. You know, I mean, when I left Ceremonium in the night in what was it 90, I don't know, 94 I think, 95, I don't even remember now. But after that period of time, I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy any albums. I didn't really go to any shows. I hung out a lot, but I didn't really go to any shows. I went to certain shows, but I wasn't buying. I wasn't really up to date as far as like what was going on in the scene, band wise or what demos out or anything, or you know. And for a long time, I didn't buy anything. And then you know, being in touch with Roy from Necroharmonic, you know, for all my lifetime, and you know, got back into it, you know, doing Rotter Records. That's how I started buying the CDs again and getting back into buying it. So, and that's when I started hearing these newer bands that still got that old school death metal sound, you know. So that attracted me more into listening to some of these newer bands, you know, that are out that keep that. So I think Europe has that same, to me, that same sound, that same feeling. It gives me that same feeling as in the U.S. You know, as far as as far as festivals that are in Europe and festivals that are in the U.S. I think now it's more active now. You know, there's a lot of shows out there. You know, there's a lot of bands going out there. Like some of these bands like that I know from back in the day. I can't believe like they're just touring and touring and touring and touring, or they're going over there, they're going over here, they're coming, you know, the best here. So that's cool, you know. So both scenes are pumping right now, both European and the American scene. If I had a preference, I don't know. I mean, I've been to a lot of shows here in the U.S. I still want to make it out to one of these fests out in Europe if I'm able to. But I don't know. I don't think I could pick a scene, you know. I think because there's a lot of bands out there that are representing the scene that keep that old school sound. So both in Europe and the U.S., you know. So I wish, the only thing that I wish, like with these festivals in Europe, you know, I wish that they would reach out to some of these smaller U.S. bands that are brutal, you know. That would be cool. Like, you know, I got a couple of bands that they can reach out to that represent that old school death metal sound, you know, that are capable of playing some shows out in Europe, you know. So that's the only thing as far as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you I mean, did you always had like in your releases pure bands, like music bands, or did you ever consider something like, I don't know, a soundtrack type project or something like that already, or do you have anything in the future project about something like that, something
Like
different?
Like a horror soundtrack or something?
Yeah, also, I mean, it's something that is not really pure
death metal.
Death metal?
Yeah.
As far as putting it out music wise, no. I was thinking about, the only thing I can relate to that is I was thinking about doing on my distro a page for horror movies and things like that, you know, maybe but I don't know if that would work, like, you know, with the Blu-ray DVDs, like get the old school, like Dr. MP and old school movies like that, you know. Something that I've been thinking about actually for about a year now, but I haven't done it because I don't know if that would work, you know. But as far as putting out music wise, and I mean, no, I mean, it'd be cool, I guess, if a band wanted to put out like maybe like a horror theme EP, you know. That would be cool, you know.
Yes.
But
and we talked like about that nowadays it's easier just to find like bands on internet, maybe on some platforms, but for sure I'm pretty sure that you have your favorite format, physical format, like vinyl or CD or cassettes. So what do you prefer?
I like CDs. I like vinyls, uh, and cassettes. You
Yeah.
know, I'll probably listen to a band, like a new band on a digital format, but
Yeah,
I'll buy physical merch. You know, a
sure.
CD. So, but I listen to some digital formats. I mean, it's there, it's easy. But
Yeah,
as far as
yeah,
if I want it, I buy the physical. You know, the merch.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, instead, relating to your experience also as a, band member, like, do you have any? I mean, you participated, I think, in a lot of, maybe festival or events in general. Is there any one of them that you really think is very meaningful for you, very intense, some specific one, or maybe more?
That I played at, or that I
Yeah, yeah.
attended.
I mean,
I,
anything.
um, we played the video the Tennessee Fest. That was a good festival because it's crazy. Like the flyer, I never paid attention to the flyer. I mean, if you can find a flyer, it's
Sure.
online. Look at the lineup. I'm like, what the hell, man? We played with all these bands. Like
Yeah,
Rock Wars there, and like I don't remember seeing them or anything, but it was Ancient was there.
yeah,
Uh, a lot of brutal bands. So that was a good show that from my memory. I wish there's probably a video someplace of the whole show, but that was a good show. And then the Canada shows were always good. Um, we've got an opportunity to play twice in Canada, so those were some good memories there too. We drove up there in two vans, and we ended up leaving one of the vans up there because the transmission broke down on it. So we just left it
Oh,
up there. It came down in one van.
wow.
and also, what are the long-term goals for for your label?
Long-term goals. Sometimes I'm like, well, I'm going to do one more year of this, and then I'm done. And then, well, this could be fun too if it's something I could do and do like I said, 100%. I would definitely sponsor that too.
Yeah.
So long-term goals would be to bring it up a notch and get the opportunity to hopefully, like I said, it's in the mind a little bit of maybe getting maybe a physical spot, and down here in Miami, you
Yeah,
know, everything has to fall into pieces, but that would be like a long-term goal right there,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
having like a
Um,
physical.
I wanted to ask you if you usually do something in collaboration with other records, or if you do splits or something like that with, other people, or
With you mean with other record labels?
yeah, also, yeah.
Yeah, the only other label that I've collaborated with is Necroharmonic Productions. We've released several releases together, and there's always an opportunity that we're gonna do something in the future. Um, as far as other labels, I don't see myself doing it. I think it's now that I've been releasing these, several releases here on my own. I kind of like that. It kind of gives me a little bit more control as
Yeah,
far as, you know. So in that aspect, I like that.
yeah, yeah,
Having that total control of okay, this is what the next step is, and this is what that is.
yeah,
But I'm always up to collaborations. Will it happen? I don't know.
sure.
Um, but that would
yes,
be it.
yes.
And from both sides, like from label and from musician, how do you see the underground scene nowadays? It's kind of same for sure. It's never really the same. But what do you think about the new? So from the nowadays scene
I
compared
think,
to the past one?
I mean, as far as the live shows, the scene, it's better now. Obviously, this is it's a business now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is a
Yeah.
business.
it is.
When I got into the scene and the like bands like Incantation, let's say, Immolation, those bands, Mortician. I mean,
Yeah,
uh, you know, I remember being at their shows with 20 people there, and that was it. Uh, and now, it's like you go to a show and either they sell out or it's a capacity. So that's the big difference. But so now it's a business, now it's all structured and everything. Back then it was just like, yo, there's a show here and like it's $5 to get in, and you would just go there and you don't even into, like I said, I've gone to shows where there was like 100 people back in the day, and then you would go to a show and see a brutal band, and there was like 40 people there, and you'd be like, damn, it was packed,
sure. Yeah,
40 people. And but now, it's I think now it's, as far as scene, live wise and band wise, I think it's a lot better for the bands, which is, to me, that's very cool. It's just, as long as the bands are taking their own direction, as far as like I said, this is a business, so
yeah,
it is what it is. But I think it's better now, both bands and probably for the clubs and all that, because like I said, there's a lot of bands out there playing a lot of shows.
yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, so we have a funny question. Usually is about I wanted to ask if all your experience, both as a musician and also as a label, like if it was a film, if it was a movie. So what kind of movie would it be? And if you have any actors or directors in your mind who would, shape
Play your
it,
role.
play your role, or better describe your story.
Describe my story. Hold on a minute now. I mean, like a movie about.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, a movie would be I guess, if it's I don't know if it'd be a comedy or it could be I think it could be a comedy. It could be a doom scene in there. I don't think it could be just like a comedy, but but it's a hard answer for me to give you there, because it's I think it would be a crazy movie. It'd be a crazy movie because back in the day, I used to do a lot. Just you used to think spontaneous things. You used just like you don't even know what the hell was going on. So it would be a crazy movie, but there'd be a lot of mood swings in there, I think, and so a crazy horror, maybe.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Not be gory, but it'd be some scary parts in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, and I have a question that we talked about this before the live session, and it's about maybe that ceremonial coming back, maybe. So, if you can just talk a little bit what is happening, and if we are waiting for something cool.
Well, as far as Ceremonium coming back with the original lineup, I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
Right, and like I said, I've reached out, and not just recently, in the past. It's just like, everybody's into doing just their own thing, and just, I guess they moved on as far as that aspect of possibly playing live or something like that. And the only reason why I kind of ignited that question to me was because I had bands reach out to me, hey, do you guys want to play this show, or do you guys want to do this show? Do you guys want to do this? And I was like, wow, man, this is crazy. You know, I was like, and that's like, let me reach out and do it. So it didn't happen. As far as that, Into the Autumn Shade to me was an album that was obviously I did the vocals on it. So it's a special album to me. You know, I mean, it was always a dream come true for me to do a band and I mean, to be in a band. I mean, we got something. We recorded an album and you know, it's over 20 years old or whatever. But now there's still a little little demand for it there. You know, so as far as that, there's something in the works to bring it as far as re-releasing it. You know, and I'll leave it at that. But it'll be out some news soon. As far as bringing it live, I thought my only option would be alternative to get like a kind of like Kelly Schaefer, you know, bring a live band to the stage and some members, old school, obviously that are, you know, maybe want to learn, you know, 3 to 5 songs and possibly do an off show here and there, you know. So that's something that I'd still hopefully get accomplished. If you know, me and Victor, we've been in contact. He's, you know, we have a new song with another project that we're working on, but the door is open for him. He knows that he's the original bass player for Ceremonium. So if I'm going to bring it live and he wants to join me, he's welcome.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So I just.
But that's the beginning stages too. That's not something that's you know, I've been in contact with some of the, you know, some musicians that are in some brutal bands that are active that are willing to help out. So that's a good thing. So
sure.
Hopefully it happens.
Yeah, sure. And so I think that's maybe you have some other questions.
Yeah, no, I was thinking just to ask you if you have any other future plans that you would like to, you know, talk about.
Future plans as far as like music wise, or
well, I mean, whatever you would like to share, of course.
Well, I mean, I'm putting out the Putrefact Serial Devourment on cassette, and I'm also putting out the Ceremonium Nightfall in Heaven 7-inch on cassette. So those are the 2 next releases that are coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm working on another release with a band, Gomorrah, which they were an old school death doom band from New Jersey, which Will, the original guitarist from Deteriorate, formed. So I'm putting that out as well. The first Serenitas EP that I put out on cassette, I'm putting that on CD, and that's going to have an extra track on it.
Oh, nice.
That he did a Ceremonium cover of Incarnated Entity. So
that's cool.
That's going to be on the CD version of it. Those are the releases that I'm working on in the near future. You know, there's a couple of bands that I want to reach out to and hopefully put something together, but that's where I'm at as far as that.
Nice. Super nice. Well, so first of all, we wish you all the best for all your plans and for your label and of course for your musician plan, because it's also a very huge part of our, you know.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for joining us.
I'll be sending some bands your way.
So, sorry, it's just the audio.
Well, I'll be referring some bands your way for the podcast.
Oh,
sure,
of course.
Do it.
Yes, super nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right.
And